Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to Factorio Beginner Series with Aavak
Hello, everyone.
and myself, shenryyr. Today we're back.
Also,
oh,
I do have to say that timing was beautiful. You started just as the train left the station.
I
That was
know,
glorious, man.
I know. And the train's on a 30-second timer, so we just got nice and lucky there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on a train. We're heading to our little outpost over here where we're picking up stone. And I know we talked about this last time, but now we have a lot of it set up. And we have set up the receiving area for stone as well.
Yep.
And what's the
Purple
next?
Quarry is doing fairly well for itself, though we don't mine stone very fast. In fact, two of the miners have already depleted the stone.
I know.
But the train has been running for a little while because obviously we were just setting things up, and we do tend to set up stuff that we've shown on camera a few times before off camera, just because I don't think anyone really needs to see another station being built after so many have been built previously.
Yep.
Though that being said, Shen, do you want to have a little bit of a mention about Alpha 13?
Oh, goodness. Yes, it should be noted that today Alpha 13 went live, and we are not playing on Alpha 13 because, well, it would entirely wreck our base. So instead we're playing on the same Alpha, I believe 12.35 is what we're on right now.
That's right, yeah.
Which is the same thing that we were playing on earlier. So our base is intact, but this unloading station is the same as we were using previously as well. So you've seen this before; it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, if you guys are using Alpha 13 right now, then everything you see today is going to be a little weird because it's not going to be up to date.
It'll be a little bit off in small ways. For example, the trains are probably one of the biggest things that have changed because the shape of the trains have changed. Also, the UI has changed on them. We will be updating to Alpha 13, but it would require a little bit of time for us to, off camera, go through all of the different places where it'll just kind of tweak our base out of alignment in some way, and something will stop working that we might not notice for a little while. So that's a little bit of a job for another time, but we did want to mention it just in case you've picked up the game recently and are looking at something different from what we've shown in today's episode and all of the previous episodes besides. But we probably will be setting up a different series, or a series that is kind of a catch-up just to show how we have to update the base in order to manage with the changes of Alpha 13. But yes, moving forward, we've got stone being brought over from our new quarry, which will soon be depleted, unfortunately. So now we need to do something with it.
Right. Well, the idea for bringing stone was A, we were running out of stone for walls. B, we're running out of stone for stone bricks, which we were using to make steel furnaces. And C, we wanted to start making electric furnaces. And we really need more stone to make the electric furnaces. So that's why we set this all up. But before we can make electric furnaces, we need to start making something out of the stone.
Yeah. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is, because we actually need stone in all three of the forms that we can manipulate it at the moment. We want the raw stone, we want the bricks, and we want some walls to be automatically made for us for future expansion. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to set up a tiny little split. Now, if I put a splitter there and then just ran a line off and started pulling off that line to stick into a chest or something like that, that would split half of the incoming stone off. We don't want that. If we split it twice and then have it rejoin the line down here, then in effect we're only sending a quarter of the incoming stone to some sort of stone buffer system. So I'm going to set that up quickly. Do you think 3 chests would be enough for our needs, Shen?
Yeah, I think it's a situation where we really don't have an immediate need for the stone ore, so we're going to put it into a small buffer for now. Later on, we're probably going to use either robots or a belt to bring the stone wherever it needs to go. But for now, yeah, I think 3 chests should be fine. And then after the raw stone, we're going to want some bricks, and bricks are made in a furnace. Right, So we have some furnaces ready to go for this.
In fact, yeah, this is fine. I'll just have this turn back in. Now, do we want to move that down just a little bit so that do we want to put in the smelters ready for expansion? Like, I noticed the fuel line here. If we run it along the top, like we've got in the iron smelting area, so that we can have several lines of smelters going down, would that
sure.
be something
I didn't realize we were going to make that big of an operation, but why not? We might as well go big or go home.
Well, yeah, the nice thing that we could set up here is this could be the stone processing part of our factory, and all future stone outposts could deliver to the station just north of us. So that would actually be quite cool, I think.
Sounds good.
Let's see, we kind of want to split this off to go to the other side. Now, we're working with yellow transport belts at the moment, but I just don't have many of those. We've more or less upgraded, so I'm just going to switch to using...
We were using yellow because all of the fuel lines in our factory, all the fuel blocks are being run on yellow. And it's like, well, we're just going to keep using the yellows then. But then it's like, well, we don't have any yellows left, so let's go back to red.
I'll wait for Shen to position all of this so I know.
Could you throw down another furnace, please?
Yeah, certainly. That goes about there. Shen is the resident smith crafter.
Wait, what did I do now? I didn't do anything.
You did something good. You're basically the smith.
What?
You smiths.
That doesn't make any sense.
Smelteries, rather.
You sniff the sniffs?
No, smith. You build them. You're the person who builds the smelters, because I'm not good at it.
Goodness, I'm so lost.
Now I am too. I'm starting to regret my decision about making you the important person in this whole endeavor.
But essentially what you were saying is you wanted to make this like the iron and the copper area, right? Yeah, just have a nice wide... You want to bring the lines down then? Just have a nice wide area where we can just expand if we want to in the future. Mm-hmm. I like that plan.
Okay, we're going to want... how are we going to split this off?
Very carefully.
One there, I guess. And... do you want the fuel blocks on the outside or the inside?
Whatever you prefer. I don't think it matters, because we're not going to be seeing any of the raw stone after this point, so we don't need to haul it off afterward. Doesn't matter.
This is a little bit ugly, and I do apologize, everyone, but it's functional at the very least.
Does that line work with the ladies?
Oh, my lord.
Every day, Aavak leaves himself wide open for these jokes. I'm sorry, folks.
I do, unfortunately. It's all my fault. Alright, let's bring this down. And then we want some power brought down as well. That'll do.
There we go.
There we go.
And there's our bricks. Now, you said the same... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this system isn't necessarily that expandable, because ultimately we are going to be putting something below the area where the smelters are, so we're not going to be able to expand this line further down, but we can expand it further out if we really want to. Like we could have another row of smelters down here if we wanted.
Sure.
So there is some room for expansion later on. But what were you going to say, Shen?
Oh, I was going to talk about how we wanted to have about 1/4 of all incoming stone go into the buffer area. Yeah. And I think a similar ratio... Now, realize this series is not about being super duper efficient or being perfect in any way, but we just have general concepts of how much stuff we want to use on each particular part of our factory. And in this case, we want to use some of these bricks to make walls, but not all of them. So we definitely want to have some bricks either go onto a belt or into a storage buffer, some type of thing, and then we want some of them to go to walls. So I was thinking about probably the same, maybe 25% to go to walls.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. So effectively, in this case, we want 3/4 of the bricks to go into storage chests. So it's kind of a reverse situation that we've got up there. And
that's mainly because we just don't need tons and tons of walls.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'll make an extra... Oh, poop, I don't have enough materials to make this quickly, so I'm going to be sat here for a little bit to make the next. Just another fast splitter.
Got it.
Ah, perfect.
Here, I'll give you half of mine.
So this one will be...
Oh, I gave you all of them. Whoops.
I accept.
I accept this challenge.
I am okay with having all of these. Want another 3 to just fill out my inventory. There we go. So most of the bricks are going to be stored, and we're going to end up with 3 whole chests worth of storage for those, which is ideal. Now, down here, we actually want some factories, I would say, to make the bricks into walls.
I think you did this backwards. I think you have 1/4 of them going into boxes.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. What a derp.
That's all good.
Break that up. Oh,
you had the right idea.
Yeah, I did. And then I threw that
you
away.
You ballsed it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, there we go. So we want this going this way.
Meanwhile, I'm looking up the recipe here for walls. We just haven't looked at this in a while. It's just 5 stone bricks.
Very simple.
Yeah.
It's a very simple recipe, that one. Make that up. Okay. Perfect. So we can just bring this down and then run it along, something like this.
Sure.
And we may as well use
the blue ones. Oh
these.
Wow, those are. Oh, that's such a waste of resources, Aavak.
Oh, I don't care. It's gonna get things done quickly. Go.
Ah, stuck in you. That was weird.
Wow. There we are. Perfect. And then we can just have these output into a chest down the bottom.
Sounds like a plan.
Somewhere over here. You would like to make that possible for us?
1 second.
Ah, yes, I see what you do. You and your
efficiency. All right, where do you want the... Oh, you got the chest, okay.
Yeah, there we are. So we just need to hook this up now. Perfect. Right, so that is all of our stone needs taken care of.
Sounds good.
Now, what we can do down here as well, because we are actually going to need these bricks, and specifically we're going to need these bricks for making the electric furnaces. If we have a look at the recipe for those, 10 stone bricks, 5 advanced circuit, 15 steel plate. Now, we've pretty much got all of that just down here, but we're starting to run a little bit shy on space. So what we're likely going to need to do is expand out our wall a bit further.
Right.
Probably just over that little, over to where the iron and copper is over there. In fact, possibly over the top of it.
So if we press M and we scroll the camera a little bit to the left, you're saying you want the wall right about where that water is, right?
A little bit further out, actually. If we, do you see where the bottom, in fact, I can walk over there right now and you can see me on the map. If we bring the wall out along here, just beneath where the rail line is, and then this would be the corner, and then just go all the way down until it makes sense to pull it back in, just so that it doesn't interfere with the rail line down there. That should give us enough room to grow at least 2, maybe even 3 new construction areas.
Yeah, because right now, our main bus, you know, it looks fine, right? We got all these wonderful resources, and then it just stops. There's a whole bunch of laser turrets here. It's like, that's not where the lasers go. That's the bus. But yeah, we have this giant main bus that goes straight into a wall. That's what it does. So we need it to go somewhere useful. So we're going to expand the wall. Mm-hmm. And that's what this whole area is for.
What I'll probably do up here, actually, what you've done here, Shen, is if we just take this away instead and move it up a little bit, like the whole system up a little bit, we could have something very similar to the way we've got our buffer section in the main bus itself.
Okay, with the pass-through?
So if we, so we can fit the pass-through down here, moving along there.
I like it.
And then have some buffers as well. And, I mean, that's probably much more than we really need.
Oh, there's no such thing.
You, but... Oh, okay. Well, in that case, no, that's perfect.
I mean, why would you settle for anything less than the maximum?
Wow, 3. This is going to be madness.
Well, we could do 7 like we did with iron.
No, I think we're good. I think we'll never use that many bricks. Ever. Unless we tile the entire factory, which is possible.
We did set up. I need to mention this. I kind of tore down the automatic tile production area. I know. It was because we ran out of steel furnaces, and to set up all this area, we needed to build some steel furnaces, so I took those 3 steel furnaces. I'll put them back, I promise.
Okay. I guess we can allow it. But yeah.
Wow, I just picked up 600 stone bricks. I think we're good on stone bricks.
Yeah, so that should be fine for a little while.
That means we can do electric furnaces, Aavak.
I know, but we're
going to have to make them automated, though.
Bricks coming down here. There really aren't. We need more bricks. I think maybe having this much buffer is going to really stunt our wall creation.
It only takes 3/4 of the stone. But what you're saying is we have these 4 factories down here making walls, and only one of them's actually doing anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, well, how about instead of...
Let me build out this wall.
We could just say, hey, half instead of 1/4. Would that make sense?
We could do, yeah.
That
might be a little bit better. Because we've only got 1 chest storing the walls.
Oh, so I've got a wonderful compromise. I'm going to say, hey, instead of a pass-through, we're going to say anything that gets past the 3 buffer arms are just going to go right into walls.
Sure. I mean, we'll adjust it if we need to later on. But for now, that seems like a good compromise.
Now, if only red splitters didn't take a year to build.
They do take phenomenally long compared to everything else.
And this is another thing that we are going to automate at some point. I kind of feel like we probably should have automated splitters and underground belt production by now, but we're just really bad at this game, so we haven't automated them yet.
Okay, I'm going to be super lazy. I've defaulted to shotgunning the forest.
You know, if you want to be lazy, that's what grenades are for. Or tanks.
Okay, I'm not that lazy. Not quite that bad yet. And to be honest, I think the shotgun is a little faster. The only thing that would probably be faster than this is the flamer.
Oh, yeah.
Which we haven't researched. And on that note, we really should be looking into more research. Now, one of the main advantages to an electric smelter is the fact that you can put modules in it. So you can tweak it further. You can make it more efficient, less polluting, faster. Or we can look at robotics. I'll give the choice to Shen. Which would you prefer?
Oh, wow. I mean, I see a flamethrower, Aavak. That's what I see.
There is a flamethrower there, but just think of it. Modules or robotics? I mean, we can go for the flamethrower first if you want.
How about this? If we do robotic first, that'll make module production a lot easier. Because the robots can haul all the junk back and forth.
Yes, that does make a lot of sense.
That's something that should probably be noted, is if you're planning ahead towards endgame stuff, a lot of the endgame stuff requires a ton of moving of materials. And robots are excellent at moving materials around.
Yeah.
I vote robots.
There we go. Robots it is. Already being researched.
So how far down do you want this wall to go?
All the way to the train line, honestly.
Okay.
Well, just a little bit above it. You know, just enough to make it look nice still. Yeah, perfect. I'll bring the wall down to meet you.
I just love having walls in my inventory again.
I know, it's been a while. There we go. Perfect.
I guess we can move the lasers over.
The long, arduous task of moving all of the walls on the inside. Okay, if you want to move the lasers over, I'll start pulling the walls down. Now, this is another thing the robots make super easy.
Deconstruction.
In fact, probably one of the biggest things that they improve is how fast you can pull down an area or put a new area up if you've already made a blueprint for it.
Now, if you throw down a blueprint, will it deconstruct something before it applies the blueprint, or do you have to deconstruct it yourself?
I believe it'll deconstruct things if they're in the way. I could be wrong, though, and you do raise an interesting point there. We'll have to have a look into that. How do we make... I just need basic bricks for this. Let me go and grab some of these bricks.
Stone bricks? We don't know anything about stone bricks.
Right, there we go. I would like to Have 3x3s.
Lasers.
Oh, I've missed that sound, but I've also not missed it at the same time because it sounds like an inner ear massage to me, but in a recording, it's a bit more. Wow, it's a bit more migraine-inducing. So I do apologize, everyone whose brains just melted.
Oh, really? No, it sounds fine to me. Do you have your mind at the volume a little high on that?
No, I've noticed that to get the bassy, manly tones from your voice, I need to also allow the bassy, migraine-inducing tones from Factorio.
Are you saying that my voice causes migraines? Because that's awesome.
That's your superpower. Just shout at people until their head starts to hurt. The superpower everyone has is just you're more efficient at it. There we go. Everything looks pretty. I'm not going to sit here taking that apart because, as you can see, it takes a lot longer to take these down than it does to put them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, robotics is finished. Now, you're going to need a couple of things to lead into robotics. Now, what we've unlocked, and the first thing you unlock with the robotics tech, let me just find it, you unlock the flying robot frame. Now, you need to make these, a lot of these, because then you take the frame and then you specialize it. So you basically, all robots are a standard shape and their internals fit into a standard chassis. But then the internals dictate the function of the robot. And the first robot we can have a look at is construction robotics. That will give us the Roboport, the construction robot. It will give us blueprints and storage chests and passive provider chests. Now, these chests work a little bit differently in that they specifically interact with robot AI and the logistics network itself. So shall we start that research, Shen?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll get that going. And then after that, there's automated construction and personal robotics and all sorts of other glorious things.
Robots are really amazing, but they do require a lot to get going. They're not
Indeed.
They're not something you just slap together in 2 seconds. You need engines, you need a lot of plastics, you need a lot of stuff.
Now, let me just have a quick look at robots again.
Is that what you want to do in this area right here? This area that we just opened up?
Well, part of this is going to have to be for the electric smelters.
That's true, but not all of it.
Yeah. Beyond that, we also... Do we have an area making... Yeah, we do have an area making lasers, don't we? It's just over here.
Yeah, right next to the batteries.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so long, I forgot what we've automated and what we have.
I know,
I'll take 50. Why not? Why not take 50 lasers? If you have the opportunity to grab 50 lasers, you may as well.
Yeah, when are you ever going to get that chance again?
Well, in our factory, fairly quickly, actually. I'll just make a couple of doors in this wall so we can get out if we want to.
Yeah, I think I parked my tank in here somewhere.
That is such an awesome statement. Earlier on, off camera, there was another awesome thing that happened, and I really was kicking myself that we weren't recording it. I got on the wrong train. I legitimately...
No, it didn't happen.
Was trying to get somewhere, saw a train, it was in the right sort of area, so I got on it, and it took me to a different station. It sounds so stupid, but it's so satisfying to have a factory where it's possible to legitimately get on the wrong train and end up at the wrong train stop. It's like, oh my god. And then Shen had to run to the place that I was trying to get to and stop biters from destroying it.
Yeah,
that was a little bit less fun. But...
We had a weird power issue, didn't we?
Yes, and it might be worth mentioning, but occasionally the power network can, well, for all intents and purposes, it seems to just get a little bit confused, to be honest with you. And what we encountered was a case where our power network, something had been moved around, and one of the power poles should have been connected to a bunch of different poles, but it didn't have any of the normal wires it should have had. That was the only clue that power pole was bugged. It wasn't just a case that power wasn't moving through that pole. It was bugged, and it was crashing the rest of the power network.
Yep, it turned off all of our steam engines and everything. It was very weird, and I've never seen that before.
I've seen it once or twice before. It has happened a couple of times for me. But yeah, it's very frustrating and sometimes very hard to work out. If it wasn't for the fact that as I was walking around, I saw this power pole and thought that should have at least 3 connections coming off it based on its position and how close it was to others, I wouldn't have. I might have just walked straight past it and not noticed. But yeah, that was the cause of that one.
You set up some more turrets here?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you do ever have a situation where your base is out of power, but for all
it may not be your fault.
Yeah, it should be powered. It might be something similar.
Because we had some biters like blowing up part of our mining operation and blowing up some lasers, and we're like, "What's going on? Why is the power off?" Because it should have been on.
There we go.
All right. Well, I'm going to extend the main bus a little bit, if you don't mind.
By all means, that would be wonderful. And then once you've done that, we'll probably wrap up this episode.
Belts.
Right, let's actually
I'm out of belts.
have a look. Oh no! How are you out of belts?
I don't know. My pants are going to fall down. I need belts. Someone please.
Oh, goodness. Right, now, the last part of... Well, there's a few technologies that can work together with robotics, but the 2 that you absolutely want is first, robotics itself, then the next part, which actually gives you a robot, as you saw, is construction robotics. The last part is logistics robotics. Now, the construction robot will help build things. If you've got blueprints, you can literally set up an area to be built, and they will build the area out of any components that you happen to have lying around that fit that blueprint, and they'll also tear an area down if you use a deconstruction blueprint on it. But outside of blueprints, they will also repair things, and that is a massive advantage. As long as you've got repair packs available to the logistics network, a construction robot will go and pick up the repair pack and go over to a damaged thing if it's within its operation radius and fix it. So they're a really, really useful thing. The other one is logistics robots, and these are your robots couriers.
Couriers.
They will move
That's a good word for
something from one chest to another or from wherever. And later on in the game, it's not that they're necessary, but they're
so convenient.
Yes,
because
they
imagine
offer massive shortcuts.
They work with your personal inventory as well. It's not just things moving around your base. They do move things around your base, and they're so good at it. But also, let's say you're out hunting biters, and you run out of ammo, or you run out of grenades, or you run out of something. Well, you run back into the range of your robots, and all of a sudden your robots go, "Oh, here's that stuff you need," and they resupply you. Then you just go back out and fight again. You don't have to go find a storage chest. They just bring stuff to you. It's so good. And I was going to say, since you called them couriers, you said that they bring stuff. I just wanted to bring up what is my purpose? You pass butter. You pass butter.
I am confused.
And on that note, I think we need to wrap it up here, Mr. Aavak.
Yes, we do. Whilst I'm confused. But thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed. In the very next episode, we will probably start the construction, or rather the automation of electric smelters. And then we will update our current smelter network to using electric smelters. And we'll just show how we would need to make some small adjustments in order to accommodate the larger electric smelters and go over some of the advantages of them. And then, probably following that, either in the next episode or in the one afterwards, we will be looking to set up automation of robotics as well. So a lot of interesting things coming up. But thank you very much for joining us. But until next time, take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.